Hi there. Let's take a few minutes to take a look at this concept of emerging economies. It's a term that A-level business students need to have an awareness of. Well, an emerging economy is a country or an economy that is characterized by relatively high economic growth compared with more mature, slower growing markets, economies like the US, the UK. There are lots of examples of emerging economies out there. Of course, China, Brazil, India have long been identified, and Russia as emerging economies. You might argue that in particular China is now a mature developed economy. Countries like Chile, Mexico, Malaysia and lots of others, Vietnam, are also good examples of fast growing emerging economies. Fast growing in the sense that their economic growth is over the longer term higher than more mature economies like the UK, like the US and Japan and Europe. And the reason why that's of great interest to businesses, for example in the UK, is that emerging economies, one of the characteristics is that we see the growth of a middle class, a very large number of people with rising disposable incomes who are looking to buy products and services, not just from the domestic businesses but also from multinationals wanting to satisfy that demand. And of course over the last decade or two, we've seen a very large number of developed economy multinationals setting up in emerging economies, choosing these economies as locations for their operations. One of the downsides potentially of emerging economies is that they have encouraged and supported the growth, and why not, of very impressive domestic businesses. China, a great example of this. Lots of businesses now that started in China, the likes of Lenovo, Huawei, Alibaba and others, are now market leaders, global market leaders. And of course, doing business overseas is not without risk, and it's often thought that emerging economies pose different and potentially more significant risks as a place to do business. For example, the perceived increased risk of intellectual property theft, and generally some different and more restrictive legislation in terms of how you can do business. But there we go. Just need to have an awareness of what an emerging economy is. So hopefully that's been a useful video for you.